Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ray Dolan from Mullingar in Mullingar, promoting what's good and great about our town, our people and our business. And today we're in a secret location, and if you can tell us where we are, we will do a private video for you to welcome you to the show. So we're coming to you live from Mullingar as usual, but we have a special guest on board, and his name is Seamus O Brien. And Seamus is a historian, author and author in Westmeath, but you have a new book out at the moment. It's called Westmeath. What's it called?
Westmeath History and Society, interdisciplinary essays on the history of an Irish county. It's been going on for about 10 years now, a decade, and we finally launched it in two big towns in Mullingar, in the atrium in the county buildings, and indeed in the atrium in the library in Athlone during March. So it's gone extremely well, selling very well, and there's 35 historians from the county and elsewhere have contributed to it. So it's got articles right from prehistory, the physical endowment of the county, the lakes, the hills, the eskers and so forth, right up to the present day political elections, local government and so forth. So it's really, it's been described now as the definitive history of County Westmeath. It's not small, it's 1,000 pages. It's a hardback book in full colour and with very high production values on it. So it's available locally in the shops here at Athlone and Dublin. So it's an important moment for history in Westmeath.
You're an historian at heart.
Yeah. I've taught for almost a quarter of a century in St Mary's College, which is a clue. Which is a clue to where we are. It's only about a 10-minute walk from here. Known also as the Heavey Institute, built just after the famine. And a lot of my research has been on the famine, and that's a clue to where we are today as well. The very first book published by the Irish Academic Press was on the famine in what's called Mullingar Poor Law Union, which is almost a 10-mile radius region around Mullingar.
Wow.
And so that's a sense of it. I've loved history as a student myself, and in fact I taught Ray. Ray here was one of my students. He's an excellent student, by the way, very well behaved, and has done very well now. He's gone into course media and as well as music, of course.
A question for you. Years ago, just stand back there a little bit because we want to get this building in as well. The mics will catch us, but a few years ago I always remember you getting your picture taken here because the building was taken away. They lifted it abroad to somewhere.
Yes, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Mullingar in a sense thought it was doing well by being charitable, by exporting what was the hospital at the back of this building here.
Yeah.
And that was a fever hospital. It was also the TB hospital and diphtheria hospital for people in Mullingar during the 20th century. And when I came over here to see what was happening, I could see the files of people and families I knew in Mullingar dumped outside. Now the store was exported. The cause was good, but the destruction of the oldest building in Mullingar wasn't good. Mm-hmm. Now it's now a Messine on the continent, commemorating Irish soldiers who fought in World War I. I have no problem with building a tower. You can quarry the tower from a quarry, obviously. To knock down one of the oldest buildings in Mullingar and the only fully extant workhouse in Ireland was wrong.
It's very interesting because that's in Belgium, isn't it?
Belgium, yeah.
A lady who comes in and sees our show sent me pictures of it, and she was there, and she's connecting it back to Mullingar.
Yeah.
As you said, it was made into a tower.
That's right.
But what we have here is the original workhouse, the front door of the workhouse.
We have the original workhouse here. Now there is scaffolding around it, unfortunately. But it's in through these gates here that what they called that time paupers, poor people, came. And they went left and right, males and females, and then the families were divided, mothers and fathers into one side, the children separated into a different compartment. So that was one of the, I suppose, disincentives to come in here. You were given workhouse clothes, you were then called an inmate. It was like a prison in a sense. The other side of it was, of course, that you survived. So it's not black and white.
No.
You got sustenance, shelter, food, meagre food, but you got food. So it was both and. History is never black and white. So it's
Getting back to your book, it's not your book because you were the editor of the book,
right.
but you had a great hand in directing it. As I said, an editor directs the book in different areas.
Yeah.
But this gives us an insight into how people lived in Westmeath and Mullingar area.
Yeah, it is, and you have many historians here I contributed to the book as well as editing it. So my job was to get the contributors to agree, and they all work pro bono on a voluntary basis, contributed their articles of a very high academic standard. All the essays are fully referenced, and I would highly recommend that you would have a look at it because it's limited edition. There's only 750 copies done, so the population of the county is 70,000. So you can draw your own conclusions. It will be a collector's item. So while it's there, get it. It's an excellent book. I'm not just saying that. Have a look at it yourself. The essays are various. Say, for argument's sake, you have Ruth Illingworth, who's well known to everybody, has done modern Mullingar.
Right.
Another professor, Paul Gosling, has done medieval Mullingar. He's a cartographer. Professor is making maps, a map maker.
Right.
And he'll be coming here in October. We'll be talking about that later on to show people how to make maps using the internet. So it's that sort of thing. The local historical society here, the Westmeath Archaeological Historical Society, had a conference last weekend. So we do a lot for the historical community. There's lots of things happening. And this county here is blessed in a sense. Most counties have one historical society, like say me up in the Mee, in our neighbouring county. Here we have a Westmeath Archaeological Historical Society in Mullingar, Moat Historical Society down the county, and the Old Athlone Society in Athlone, as well as other people who gather in Castlepollard, Balnacargy. So there's a lot of interest here, and it's increasing, particularly during the pandemic. People had time to get out walking, see various things like the workhouse here that Ray has brought to our attention, and the famine graveyard where we put up signage, which is just across on the supply line. So there's a lot around, and of course it's really important in a sense when what we have now is basically a globalised world. There's a real need for people to see local differences and local characteristics that give us a sense of who we are.
You're from where originally?
I'm from Carlow originally. Arrived here in '75, so I'm longer here than anywhere, and I've done a fair bit of writing, and everything I've written really is on Mullingar. So I love it here, and that's where I've.
What do you think Mullingar has to offer everyone? Like, we have a worldwide audience here. We have local people looking in, and we're always promoting what's good and great about our town, our people, and our business. What would you say is our best asset in Mullingar?
Mullingar is a fantastic town. We've loved it. Mullingar's got every service you could want. If you like to play golf, tennis, swimming, we have a greenway beside us, marvellous lakes, beautiful lakes, and apart from that, then you have every single service in restaurants, cafes, supermarkets, and of course, I'll have to say, there's incredible infrastructure here. It was the centre of the railway system in Ireland up to, I suppose, the railways became less important. But now you have a motorway. And for argument's sake, I worked all over the country, so I just hopped in the car and it was central to every place in the country. It's a fabulous place, very accessible, a big town. Right behind us here is a regional hospital. You have every educational facility, recreational facility. There's employment. Go around the town, there's people looking for workers. Marvellous farming around it. You couldn't live in a better place, as well as, of course, great musical tradition with a statue of Joe Dolan, who's Ray's uncle, of course, down the town. I brought a French professor over for the book she wrote in the book.
Right.
And we're down that loan. And she saw the statue of John McCormack, and then we came up to Mullingar. She stayed overnight with us. Oh, you have a second statue to John McCormack in the county. I said, no, that's Joe.
That's our own Joe.
That's our own Joe.
As well as that, our history, it's all underground. We can't really see it. We've got Ishnock. We have a lot of underground history, I could say. We've got Four. You know, and how you explain it to someone, I think it's only through myth and story, and if more people, like storytellers, it's more important, I'd say, in the Midlands to tell the stories.
Yeah, storytelling is a huge part of it. If you want to communicate with anybody, a story is what we're used to, so around the fire. That's oral history, which is an essay in the book as well by in the book that we've talked about. There's on folklore, that's an aspect of history. But of course you have archaeology, that's under the ground. That's there done by Dr. David McGuinness. He did the barrows, which are places where people were buried in the past. Under
barrows.
barrows would be, you'd see them almost like a flying saucer with a mound in the middle,
Yeah.
a ditch, and then a ring around it. You'd see them all over County Westmeath, which are ring forts. The Hill of Ishna, of course, as Ray mentioned, been a huge amount of excavation there, as well as Knockastia. But we also, above the ground, of course, like we have histories here in front of us in the buildings. We had down the road here is Castle Street. Of course, there's no castle there now. Many towns would have a castle or the ruins of one. In Mullingar, we're a little bit unfortunate in the sense that we don't have a large number of historic buildings, and that's why this year was important, and the destruction of it was controversial.
But there's a talk about rejuvenating this building.
Yes.
I was talking to different people about it,
Right.
and they were saying that they're going to bring it back to its original glory
Right.
and have it as an interpretive centre, so that people come in
Yeah.
and say, this is this, this is this.
Well, I agree with you, Ray. You could do many things with it. Like, one thing it needs is preservation and renovation. You can see, for example, Portumna Workhouse is now an interpretive centre, visitor centre. It's brought a huge number of tourists to the place. Even here, for example, we look at it in, say, a practical sense. What would be wrong with, for argument's sake, converting it into apartments with the facade and so forth preserved? That would be a working environment, not demolished and everything scattered into dumps,
Yeah.
but used in the modern. We see it all over the country where mills have been converted, buildings have been converted, distilleries and so forth into accommodation. And God knows we need accommodation. That's one example. I would suggest that's a possibility. We've seen it in the town here as controversies, and St. Lomans across the road is a huge building in a similar sense.
Yeah.
But we need old buildings, and what we had, like this here, was built in the 1840s, so it's almost 200 years old. In a great nick, really, and with lying dormed at home. You can see 1841 written on it. That's when the local MP here, Hugh Morgan, shooting out the road for Sunna, came in and laid the foundation block on it. So it's got huge history.
Well, I'd
And-
like this to be converted into the original thing. And if we
Fair
go
enough.
to St. Lomans, I prefer that was turned into apartments.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap it up.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to meet
Thanks, Ray.
the
Thanks
boss
very much.
again, once again, folks. He taught me history and geography, and he's still into the geography and still into the history. So once again, folks, thanks for looking in. We're going to finish off our show, and I'm going to chat to you in a second, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do, what else have we got here, folks? We have our show. It's called the 12 Bong Show. So actually, Seamus, could you give us we do bongs on this show, and we call
Yeah.
it 12 bongs.
Right.
So I'll give you 6 bongs, and I'll do 6. So I'll start it off, okay?
Right.
Bong, bong, bong. That's 3. Bong, bong, bong.
Bang, 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 bang. More. Bang, bang. Right.
Got 7.
Right, okay.
Come here, the 12 bongs. You know where it came from?
No.
I was sitting in primary, right?
Yeah.
And at 12 o'clock, you'd hear bong,
Yeah.
and you go, 1 more hour to get out of the primary. Anyway, folks, I'm going to wrap this show up. We have Norma Sheehan, and she introduced the show for us already this morning, and then our video vault comes from the agricultural show, which is on in 3 months' time, but it'll come around very, very quick indeed. Our show is coming to you in association with Nurture Nails, and they're beside the Green Shopping Centre, and we have some birthday shout outs. We have Maura Dennehy, and she is Glanmire, Cork, and William Stanley, who's in Milton Keynes, and Ian Sheridan here in Mullingar. Happy birthday to you. Debbie is looking in there from Ballinacarragee. Happy birthday to you. And Shane Tormey in Westport, it's a big happy birthday to you. We have Paul Toomey in Mullingar, it's your birthday. And Enda Fitzpatrick in Drogheda, it's your birthday too. Michael McLaughlin in Mullingar, happy birthday to you. And Billy Rabbit in Dangan, it's your birthday. As well as that, our food shout out competition winner today is the Annabrook Hotel. Our Facebook page recommendation is the Durrow Scarecrow Festival, and they actually have a scarecrow competition on this year. If you want to go and get involved and bring your scarecrow to Durrow County Laois, go to their Facebook page and you'll find out how you get involved. You can win €3,000, so what a fantastic prize. Now tomorrow we're going to have a special guest on our show, and it's a lady whose dog has been missing since December, and this lady brought this dog from Brazil, I believe, and she lost her dog at Christmas. Now there's a €2,000 reward for this dog, and the number is 089 6180 257 if you've seen Apollo. It is a red collie. So that's Marina, who'll be joining us tomorrow, Marina, Marina. And as well as that, thank you to our special guest, and a big shout out to Bevcraft. Congratulations to the Bevcraft group, because they won the competition of Manufacturer Company of the Year, and that was at the SFA Awards in the RDS last night. And a big shout out to Dolores Keaveney, who is a new book out. It's called The Red Fox. And what else have we got for you? We have a big shout out to our friends who are going on a special run, because he's going on his bicycle. This is Tom Blake, and he's cycling from Whitehall to Westport, especially for the local primary school out in Whitehall, and Adam Boyce, who is a student out there, and he's suffering with cerebral palsy. Now, Thomas Blake is going to go on his bicycle the whole way to Westport, and then when the next morning he's going to get up, he's going to climb Croagh Patrick. Well, fair play to you. And as well as that, there's a GoFundMe page there as well, folks. Now we have the Ken Smullen Food Appeal. We run this every day, we mention every day. Ken is a gentleman who is helping out kids in the Midlands and Mullingar and Tullamore who are going to school hungry. Go to his Facebook page if you want to help out there as well. And as well as that, the 100-kilometre River Innie Challenge continues this weekend. Go to their Facebook page if you want to help them out. And as well as that, we have the Mullingar Arts Centre. On Saturday night there's a big event on there, and Shirley Valentine is hitting Mullingar for one night only. Ballinacree have their Farmers Market on the 16th. Farmers Market on the 16th at Ballinacree, and don't forget the Bachelor's Festival, the 29th, the 30th and the 1st of May. It's coming very, very quick indeed, and the Mullingar Fla is on the way, folks. So once again, from myself and the boss, Seamus O Brien, thank you very much for looking in, and we will chat to you later. Have a super day, and we'll be back at 5 o'clock to sing a song for you. Bye for now.